My name is Marc Houtz. I am the owner of Soupie King. The Soupie King came about when I took some soupies to work. One of my clients was pumped over the soupies that I brought in, and he was like, "You are truly the Soupie King." And I was like, "Well, I don't know about that." And then it just stuck after that. We make about close to 5,000 to 6,000 soupies a year. A lot of people do this different. I know that you've done the soupy thing before where you get to go over and they'll do it for a weekend and they'll hang them, right? And they can hang them there for as long as they need to hang, which for me, because the soupy season is such a short season, I need to cycle out. So my first process is to hang. After the hanging process, I need to get them in the press. Back in the olden days, we used to hand press. And with us doing so many soupies a week, or every other week actually, just to get the cycle out, it gets to be too much for the hands. So we put them in a press. We kind of want to let them in the press for up to 2 weeks, just enough to cycle out our second round or third round of soupies. We do that so that obviously there's no air pockets in it. Air pockets are a huge flaw in a soupy. Once they go in oil, the air inside that soupy actually draws the oil right in and the soupies become ruined. After the press, they get hung again. So I have a different location for the hanging. That way the new soupies that are coming out can get hung on a rack and we start that whole cycle over again. When Soupie Kings first started, we were doing 1,000 pounds. I think we were cycling out every 2 weeks and that would last for 8 weeks. Think about that. That's a lot of soupies. And that's a lot of hand pressing and a lot of hanging. So we need room for that. Now in these last couple of years, it's just me and my son and just one other person. We try to keep it in the family. And we've only been doing like 500 pounds every 2 weeks. I like to keep my soupies in a bucket for the old wives' tale is by the time the first tomato ripens. So if I can get my soupies in a bucket by mid-March, my first round is my goal. And that way by May, June, or even July, I've opened them as soon as June actually. I don't like doing that, but I prefer to do end of July to get my last year's soupies in circulation. I let them sit on a table and I have fans on them and they get purple, like a dark red, within the first 3 or 4 days. Now I want them pretty dry because when you hang them, if they're still wet, they actually will slide off if you don't tie them right. So I try to get them a nice hardened side to them. After that, we will hang them. Then we'll start the hand pressing process. But like I said, we no longer do that. So I like to keep them up there for 2 weeks. When the second round of soupies comes in, right before we hang, the soupies that are hanging will go into the press. That way those soupies will then go onto the table to dry. Then that round of soupies will then get hung on a rack. By the time the ones that are in the press need to come out, get hung in another location, the ones on the rack should be going into the press. The reason we press it, one for me personally, is to keep the air out of the soupy. Two, it's because this consistency stacks very well in a bucket of oil, to be honest. So I can get 60 to a bucket. And when you're doing 1,000 soupies every week, every 2 weeks, then you need to get as many soupies in a bucket as you can. Back in the early 2000s, my father and all his buddies would bring us down to do soupies, and they were kind of giving up, and we decided to keep it going. And my father allowed me to take the reins on it and decided that this was something I enjoyed doing, and we decided to make a business out of it. The people who believe that soupies are only done in one area, Shamokin to be exact, were very upset. They wanted to know what makes me the Soupie King, what gives me the right to say that I'm the king. And I was basic. Listen, taste them. You tell me what you think. I already know that everybody's soupies taste awesome, right? I mean, to be honest, there are people's soupies out there that I enjoy. I like them more than my own soupies. But there are a lot of people who just love the flavor of my soupies, and I will continue to make them the same way. It's like everybody else. It is a family recipe, and it's been around since I think my dad back in the 60s and 70s. So he was making them back then. The hurdles are your licensing. I mean, the FDA, the USDA, and a lot of that is, I mean, I don't even know if I can say this, but it's a money racket. So, they really, really push to put the preservatives in your product. And to be honest, the preservatives, they ruin the taste of a soupie. I've done soupie sticks, which were a huge, huge hit. I actually can't even keep them, so I don't even make them anymore. Wow. The minute I make them, they only take like a week to cure, and I just hang them across the rack. And to be honest, I don't have the actual proper, I don't have the space for those. Sure. If I just did away with soupies and just did the soupie sticks, I would kill it. Tell you a story. My father, we have soupies that my father made, and we still have them to this day. And these were made back in '08. So '08. And we only open that bucket of soupies when we make soupies for the year. So we always slice one soupie up, we eat it, and to this day, and what year are we in? 2025? Those soupies are good, and they're in the same oil, same bucket. Wow. Now we are coming to an end on it, because I think there were 30 in it when we started doing this tradition. But yeah, the soupie it's a little bit darker. They do get darker with age, but they are delicious.
They're world fucking champions.
They are freaking good.
Was the Chili's.
Yeah.
That's why. There's some Chase Utley soupies there, brother.
Yep.
That little